The story kicks off in Las Vegas, inside a lively club where our protagonist, Nick Wilde, is enjoying a drink. Then in walks Doris, a captivating woman who immediately captures his attention as she takes her seat. But the plot thickens when another man, Osgood, arrives at the club with a date planned with Doris. Unexpectedly, Nick decides to approach them and asks Doris to dance, seizing the opportunity to mock Osgood and playfully remove his wig. However, Doris intervenes and swiftly escorts Osgood outside to protect him from Nick's potential wrath. Nevertheless, Nick continues his taunts, while Osgood confidently assures Doris that he can handle Nick, despite appearing somewhat aged for a fight. The situation takes an interesting turn as Osgood retrieves his wig from Nick, delivers a stern warning, and then lands a punch that sends Nick sprawling to the ground. This act of bravery impresses Doris, who compels Nick to ask for forgiveness. After Nick extends his forgiveness, Doris rushes out of the car to embrace Osgood, hailing him as her hero. The scene then transitions to a woman who is unceremoniously left at a hospital. When a doctor steps outside for a smoke break, he notices her, and the medical team rushes to attend to her. Their attempts to inquire about her situation yield only one word: Nick. In the morning, Nick, a seasoned Las Vegas bodyguard with deadly professional skills and a lingering gambling addiction, awakens and prepares for his day at work. Soon, a young man named Cyrus Kinnick arrives, seeking Nick's services. Cyrus explains that he's been recommended by his neighbor and wishes to hire Nick as a tour guide during his stay in Las Vegas. With concerns about potential disrespect due to his age and a strong interest in gambling, Cyrus wants Nick to accompany him and provide protection. Nick agrees to take on the role of showing him around Vegas and ensuring his safety while he indulges in the world of gambling. As the story unfolds, Nick encounters Osgood once more. It is eventually revealed that Nick and Osgood are not only close friends, but that their earlier altercation was a staged stunt to impress the woman. In appreciation for Nick's performance, Osgood hands him $500, along with a promised bonus of another $500. However, Nick graciously declines the bonus. Following this encounter, Nick makes his way to a local diner, where he confides in his waitress friend, Roxy. He shares his desire to amass $500,000, which he sees as the ticket to leaving Las Vegas and enjoying a 5-year retirement in Corsica. Roxy delivers a message from a woman named Holly, urging him to visit her residence. Upon arriving at Holly's home, Nick is warmly greeted by Holly, who, as it turns out, was the woman previously left at the hospital. Holly reveals the harrowing events that transpired the previous night at a hotel called the Golden Nugget. She recounts how she had met 3 unfamiliar men in an elevator, who then coerced her into accompanying them to their room. The apparent leader of the group raped her first, followed by the other 2. Afterward, they callously abandoned her outside the hospital. In a gesture of gratitude and hope, Holly offers Nick $100. During the initial hour of their conversation, Holly implores Nick to assist her in identifying the individuals responsible so she can take legal action against them. Nick advises her to consult with a lawyer or a private investigator. However, Holly questions why Nick, having been present at the Golden Nugget, cannot help her. Nick explains that the hotel is associated with organized crime and reminds her that he had warned her to steer clear of it. It's revealed that the hotel's owner, known as Baby, had attempted to recruit Nick to work for him, but Nick had declined. They had reached an agreement not to interfere in each other's affairs. Subsequently, Nick seeks out a housekeeper named Millicent for information about the man in question. They agreed to meet later. Millicent discloses that the man is Danny DeMarco, the son of a prominent mob boss from southern Italy, and provides Nick with the room number. She also emphasizes that Nick should avoid any interference with Danny. Following this, Nick contacts Holly to inform her that he didn't obtain any useful information from the housekeeper. Holly begins to suspect that he may be concealing something. Holly earnestly shares vital information with Nick, emphasizing how much she supported him in the past, and now requests his support in return. In the evening, Nick meets with Cyrus for their guided tour, taking him to various locations, including different casinos. However, Nick is preoccupied with thoughts of Holly throughout the evening, even though most places are bustling with crowds. At one point, Nick escorts Cyrus to his favorite spot. Here, Cyrus attempts to learn more about Nick, but Nick remains aloof. While Cyrus engages in gambling, Nick's mind is flooded with thoughts about Holly's recent revelations. Unable to focus on the tour, Nick abruptly leaves Cyrus at the casino and rushes to Holly's house. There, he discloses the name of the man in question. However, Nick realizes that Holly is not interested in pursuing a legal course of action. Instead, she seeks revenge for the torment she endured. She implores Nick to confront and weaken the individuals involved, providing her with an opportunity to exact her revenge. Determined, Nick drives to the Golden Nugget, ready to confront Danny, cunningly disguising himself as someone sent by Baby. Danny's bodyguards grant him access. Nick, aiming to find information and follow the lead to Danny, undergoes a thorough check by Danny's associates. Afterward, Nick confronts Danny about Holly's whereabouts. Danny, displaying arrogance, mistakenly assumes Nick is a pimp. To dispel this notion, Nick presents his credit card as proof of his identity. Nick requests to leave, but Danny makes it clear that departing won't be that simple without learning a lesson. Danny tasks Nick with pleasing him in exchange for the opportunity to leave unharmed. When Nick fails to meet Danny's demands, he orders his men to teach Nick a lesson. A physical altercation erupts, with Nick defending himself using his credit card as an improvised weapon. In the chaos, Danny attempts to shoot Nick, but Nick skillfully evades the bullets, subdues Danny, and restrains all of Danny's associates. Holly is invited into the scene and, with scissors in hand, confronts Danny, causing him to cower in fear. She instructs him to hand over $50,000 from his safe. Holly then hands the money to Nick and proceeds to contemplate seeking revenge by castrating Danny. Seeing the seriousness in Holly's eyes, Danny's resolve crumbles, and he pleads for her forgiveness, resulting in her granting him a pardon. However, Danny relinquishes the money, and Holly departs. Before leaving, Nick cautions Holly to leave town, as he believes they may be pursued. After splitting the $50,000 sum evenly, Nick proceeds to a casino, embarking on a game of blackjack with his dealer friend, Cassandra. As he begins to feel the winds of luck favoring him, Nick manages to secure an initial victory, setting off a remarkable winning streak. However, his winning streak experiences a shift as the dealer's shift changes, with Cassandra leaving her position. At this point, Nick decides to call it quits and moves away to find Cyrus. But as he reunites with Cyrus, a renewed feeling of good fortune washes over him, prompting Nick to return to the gambling table, where he increases his wager. This daring move quickly garners the attention of the pit boss and a growing crowd of onlookers. Nick continues his extraordinary winning streak, accumulating well over $500,000 in winnings, and decides to try one last time. After his remarkable winning streak, Nick joins Cyrus for a celebratory drink. Cyrus, inquisitive about Nick's plans, learns of Nick's intention to retire. Nick prepares to cash out his substantial winnings but is suddenly overwhelmed by anxiety. He begins to question whether the $500,000 is sufficient and, in a risky decision, decides to gamble again, believing his luck still holds. In one bold move, Nick wagers his entire $500,000, along with the $25,000 received from Holly. Unfortunately, luck doesn't favor him this time, and he loses the bet, leaving him shocked and disheartened. With a heavy heart and consumed by regrets, Nick turns to drinking to cope with his depression. His despair is so profound that he loses consciousness. The next day, he awakens to find Cyrus by his side. Cyrus explains that Nick had passed out, and the casino staff had helped him. Grateful for the assistance, Cyrus discloses his desire for Nick to mentor him in courage and combat skills. It is revealed that Cyrus is a self-made millionaire who promises to help Nick become wealthy. In exchange for his services, Nick politely declines the offer and heads downstairs to the bar to grab a drink. Before long, Danny's henchmen arrive to take Nick to meet with Danny, leading to a brawl breaking out in the bar. Nick fiercely dispatches the men, channeling his pent-up anger into the fight. As the situation escalates, the police arrive to intervene, and Nick is subsequently escorted to the Golden Nugget to meet Baby, the influential mafia boss of Las Vegas. Baby informs Nick that he's received a complaint about Nick breaking into a room and causing harm to two individuals, with one of them being a witness, Danny. Baby arranges a meeting with Danny in hopes of resolving the issue. Danny portrays Nick's actions as ruthless and violent, emphasizing how Nick attacked and incapacitated his bodyguards before any harm befell them. Nick, in turn, provides his account of the story, revealing that he refrains from using firearms to kill, casting doubt on Danny's accusations. To settle the matter, Nick points out two cuts on Danny's manhood, a revelation that prompts Baby to challenge Danny to verify the truth by dropping his pants. However, Danny vehemently refuses, leading Baby to question his credibility. After Nick provides a plausible reason for his actions and convinces Baby that he can handle the situation, Baby informs Nick that repercussions may follow. Nick, however, assures Baby that he didn't kill Danny's bodyguards. Following this encounter, Nick drives to a diner for a meal. While seated, Cyrus joins him and expresses his fear of leaving Las Vegas, admitting he's a coward. In gratitude for the lessons he's learned from Nick, Cyrus presents him with a gift of $500,000 and a plane ticket to Corsica. Their conversation is interrupted when Danny's men arrive at the diner, but Cyrus cleverly creates a distraction by breaking into song. This diversion allows Nick to slip away. As the men chase Nick outside, Danny orders them to search for him everywhere. Unbeknownst to them, Nick eavesdrops on their conversation and decides to confront those using only utensils he grabs from the diner. A fierce fight ensues, with Nick emerging victorious. Cyrus approaches Nick, offering him the $500,000 check and the plane ticket to Corsica. Initially hesitant, Nick eventually accepts the gifts and decides to leave Las Vegas before Danny's father seeks vengeance. With this, the movie comes to an end.